Hello and welcome to the video. This is a video all about this thing here. Now this is from a company that I haven't had any real quads from before. This is from an outfit called HGLRC. This is the Sector132. It's a 4K quad. It has the Tarsier camera at the front and it has 3-inch props, which I think is a brilliant size for this stuff. Now I have looked at a number of other quadcopters, things like the Mobula 7, the Cinewhoop style of quads, and I've never been a fan. I know some people love them, and I think there are certain instances where they will excel. However, I'm not a pilot that ever bumps into those instances. I found that the lack of flight time and the just the way they performed and handled wasn't great. These cameras tend to pull quite a bit of current, and the batteries on those really small Cinewhoop, tiny whoop style things just give up really quickly. Now I've had this kind of camera on lots of other models, and go and check out my reviews to have a look at those, but the way that this is put together is actually really good. So in this video, let me unbox it, talk about the specs, take you through the Betaflight setup. I've had a couple of questions from people asking me to do that in a little bit more depth, just because this flies so beautifully. It doesn't come with these props installed. It actually comes with a smaller set of 2.5-inch props with prop guards. But I prefer this setup with these 3-inch props. They give about 25% more lift, and it runs on 3 and 4S. So anyway, let me get into the unboxing, go through the specs, do a bit of Betaflight setup, flying, and then do the summary at the end. So this model features a 3K carbon fibre frame, wheelbase is 132mm, 3mm bottom plates, and the standoff height's about 28mm, 16x16mm supports, which is there for 20x20mm flight controllers. Inside there is the HGLRC F4 Zeus flight controller. I'm pretty impressed with that. It's an all-in-one thing that also has 15 amp 4-in-1 ESC, all the standard stuff you'd expect, some onboard flash, 16 meg of that. The VTX that's in here is also HGLRC branded. It'll run up to 400 milliwatts. It's stuck out the back. You can buy it with lots of different receivers installed. I've got mine with a Free Sky receiver. It's come with international firmware, so if you're ordering one of these and you're in the EU, let them know. Cadix Tarsier 4K at the front with all the usual stuff that you need to. So maximum resolution is 4K 30 frames a second, but I've been doing most of my flying with 1080p 30 frames a second just to help keep the SD card from filling up too quick. The motors are HGLRC branded 1106 3800 kV brushless motors, and it comes with 2 sets of props. The ones that are on to go with these guards that it comes supplied with are 25-40 2.5-inch 3-bladed props, and then you have the optional 30-35 3-inch 3-bladed props that you can change to. The great thing is there is enough in here with spares as well. You also have the mounts for an action camera if you really wanted to, although with the Tarsier I'm not sure you'd need to, and there's tons and tons of spare screws as well, which is brilliant. So all you need to do is to screw the props into place. Again, with the 2.5-inch props, they'll fit inside the prop guard. The prop guards are about 3-inch diameter, so you need to take them off if you are going to install the bigger props that'll move about 25% more air. Once the props are on, it's worthwhile going into the Cadix to make sure everything's set up. You're going to need the app on your phone and enable the Wi-Fi by clicking the most rearward button on the Tarsier, connect to it, and then you can change all the settings. The receiver isn't powered by the USB cable, so you will have to bind the receiver with a battery plugged in. So my advice would be, before you install the props, bind your receiver, and then if something untoward happens, it's not going to jump off the desk at you. So let's look at the Betaflight settings. I'll take you through everything, show you what the tune is like. Let me turn expert mode on first. Nice to see stuff in the data flash. Data flash information is only stored when the quadcopter is armed, and I can see everything is running. The current draw looks wrong. This is my first look at it on Betaflight. I would say that the current settings are probably wrong. We'll look at that in a minute. Port configuration, UART 3 is set for TRAMP. UART 6 is set for ESC telemetry, although that didn't seem to work when I played with it here. Configuration looks like this. Quad X motor stop is turned on, so when the throttle's at 0, it will stop running. 8K gyro and PID loop, but the CPU load is nice and low, actually. That's good. Be aware that the gyro is set like this if you're going to change anything. S-Bus is set, which is fine because that's the XM Plus, I think it is in here. In-flight level calibration is turned on. LED strip is turned on, although there isn't an LED strip on here that I can see. I would turn on the receiver set and the lost for the beacon tones as well, so that you can get this everything to beep. Worthwhile doing on a model like this. Doesn't look like there's a piezoelectric buzzer on here, and these small models do disappear in long grass or if you manage to fly them into a hedge or something. Right, next one's power and battery looks like that. This is incorrect. The 24 amps is way too high. I think that's reading kind of the maximum. Select the current meter source to none and that will get rid of it. I tried it with ESC sensor and that didn't really seem to make any difference. Failsafe is set to drop, which is good. PID tuning, I'm going to go through each of these profiles in turn just so you can see how they have set this up. It flies really nicely on 3-inch props. I know some people have been in contact saying that they've struggled to get Betaflight running on this kind of model. So this is what they've got set up. So I'll just run through that quickly. Receiver, everything was kind of working. I needed to change the channel map because to match my radio. There we go, all done, simple. The RSSI looks like it's set for auxiliary 12. So let me set that up. That should have been set up from the factory too, really, in my humble opinion. Modes, then we've got the arm modes and angle modes set up. Now I have it slightly differently on these kind of models where I want to fly very smoothly and have auto level. So on auxiliary 2 is where I want my arm switch, so let me just move that around. I always then set the default position to be angle. I then tend to have the middle position of the mode switch for horizon on something like this. Let's auxiliary 1, and then have the top position as rate mode. Add a link for beeper. That helps me find these things when they disappear in the grass when I'm flying them. And then apart from that, there's air mode, which I'm going to link to the standard mode. So I have air mode turned on in both horizon and rate. And you could also do turtle mode as well, but I'm not going to bother with here. Then OSD probably needs a little bit of playing around to get it how you want it. And unfortunately, all the amperage stuff isn't going to work because of the lack of current sensor. But I can keep an eye on the battery voltage and use that as a way to monitor how everything is working when it's time to come home. Jump down to CLI version, and the version is 4.1.1 of Betaflight, so it's reasonably current as well. It's not the latest and greatest, but that's absolutely fine. So before I give you some kind of outdoor footage, let me show you what it's like indoors. The initial flight here is with the 2.5-inch props on with the prop guards. Flying this model indoors with the 2.5-inch props. The model with the prop guards and the props on, but without battery, is about 156 grams. And hovering just over half throttle, very gentle and docile flying. Taking off the prop guards, putting the 3-inch props on, that's giving about 25% more thrust from my calculations here. It's hovering under half throttle on 3S, and that is about 143 grams without the battery with the 3-inch props on. So let me show you some video from the Tarsier and also from the on-screen display, just showing you how nice the image looks and how well it performs. Again, this particular flight is from a 3S battery, an 850 mAh 3S battery, and it is with the 3-inch props. And hopefully you can see here how nicely it is performing and how beautiful everything looks. If I want to get some footage and I want to fly a quad that people won't have an issue with, this is the one that I'm going to keep in the bag. It's super stable, very, very smooth, and an absolute pleasure to fly. HGLRC have done a really good job on setting this up. So in summary, what do I think? Well, I have been very impressed with the way that this is put together, the care and attention, the way that the frame is finished. I love the fact that even with the battery, it sneaks in well under the 250 gram limit. I've looked at lots of other quads that are this kind of weight, but none of them have this very smooth flying performance. Flying on a 3S battery, this is quite a docile thing. If you are using the 2.5-inch props in particular, it will hover over half throttle, so it's perfect for just kind of gentle flying indoors. If you take the props off, those 2.5-inch versions, and put the 3-inch versions on, then it becomes a lot more lively. These move about 25% more air, and you can feel it hovers under a half throttle, and you get a much better throttle response. Again, it's super smooth. Going on to 4S, then you get an extra bump of power. So on 4S, with these props in particular, you could probably get away with a bit of freestyling. But I think with the nice things like the camera mounts on here and how it's all put together, this is a really, really great option. If you've been looking for a little lightweight quad that you want to do some filming, maybe get some 4K shots of something, and you want to fly for more than 2 minutes at a time, but have something that can fit in a backpack that isn't very threatening under that 250 gram limit with a battery, then this is pretty fab. There's only a couple of things that I would probably draw your attention to. First of all is there is quite a limited rake with the camera. Because it's on these little TPU 3D printed mounts, you can kind of move the mounts down. That gives you slightly more rake. But to be fair, this is kind of best when it's gently flying around anyway, getting some beautiful shots. There isn't any current sensing on the board. You probably saw that in some of the footage. Mine came with the current sensing turned on, as I talked about in the beta flight setting. Turn that off. The all-in-one flight controller at the bottom of this is very impressive. I'm tempted to use it in some more of my builds. It means that there's tons of room in here for the Tarsier boards, and that single stack makes it much neater. Other builders need to take note of how nice and neat this is and how much room there is inside this quad, even though it's so dinky. For me, I found that the smaller 2.5-inch props were not as smooth. In some of that indoor flying, you can see that it's actually twitching, whereas with the 3-inch props, I'm not finding that at all. It is buttery smooth, perfect for flying around and getting HD footage out the camera. Last couple of points, the VTX antenna, the way it was installed in here, had a very, very hard kink in it. That's not great for any kind of connection up to an antenna, so I've just straightened that out. It seemed to perform fine before and after, and this little video antenna that they've supplied seems to work well too. And the last thing is the mounting on the bottom is sometimes better for the battery. I've been flying it with the top, not had any issues, but one of those things that you might want to consider if you're using a slightly bigger battery is it might be better to put some foam onto the bottom and actually mount the battery to the bottom of the quad to lower that centre of gravity. But in conclusion, this is my favourite Cinewhoop kind of quadcopter that is able to do the HD stuff. I think the quality, the way it's put together, is very, very impressive, and the way it flies and the way it's tuned is just lovely. So if you have been thinking about getting something like this and you've been looking at those smaller models like the Mobula 7 but don't want to fly for 2 minutes at a time and can cope with the slightly bigger layout, then this is really two quads in one. With the guards on and the smaller props, then you're going to get a very docile quad on 3S. If you put these props on and get rid of the prop guards and put 4S on here, then you've got quite a speedy little beastie, all with the Tarsier camera that will perform beautifully. Thank you for watching my video and watching right to the very end. If you want to find out what I'm currently working on, you can follow me on social media by searching for Painless360 in the usual places. If you'd like to become part of the inner circle, then you can become a Patreon. Details are in the description and you get lots of additional benefits. Check out the playlist section on the channel too. I organise all of my videos into playlists, and it's called something like Introduction to or for Beginners. All of the content is aimed so that you can start at the very beginning, and it teaches you that subject, starting with simple principles and moving up to teach you everything you need to know.